Hey, how y'all doing out there in YouTube land? This Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Well, today we're going to do a tune and lube. Tune and lube on my two new CIVIVIs. My Conspirator and my Chevy. Alright, here we go. T8. Both of these knives have a little bit of lock stick. I'll let you hear this one. They both sound about the same. And that's the main reason why we're taking them apart. It's because I want to lube them all up. And get them tuned up. As you can see, these have ceramic ball bearings and bronze phosphor cages. We'll do one knife at a time so I'll get all the parts all mixed up. This one right here is a Conspirator. It has T8s all the way around except for the pocket clip. The pocket clip has T6s. I'm actually going to just leave the screws inside there. All I want to do is just take this out. There you can see what the liner looks like. Nice and lightened up. How thick are these liners? Let's check it out. Let's see. Now we got it all apart. It'd be a good time to see how thick it is, huh? Nice and zeroed out. .52 millimeters. So I get that set up here so you guys can see. That's how thick the liner is. 1.5 millimeters. The blade thickness. I was trying to do it so I could hold it so you guys could see it. Right at about 3 millimeters. Yep. Pretty much 3 millimeters exactly. And this is what the... Well, I don't want to drop these screws. Be careful. Get carried away with myself. That's what the micarta handles look like on the inside. So it's a nice solid slab of micarta. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. And like I said, I think these knives are very good quality knives. You can see all the standoffs and everything. I didn't take it all the way apart. Don't need to. I can just show you that, guys. See how it's nice and dry on the inside? That's the reason why you got your button stick. There's no lube in it. And so this is what I do. I like to leave this side on because the spring sits inside of here. I don't want to take that all apart. Take some of my some Militech 1. This is Militech 1 grease that I'm using. This is oil, the Militech oil. This is what I use. Everybody's always asking me what I use. This is what I've always used. And this is Militech 1 grease. It comes in a grease gun tube, and I take it and I put it in these little glass containers. It's easier for me to deal with like that. All right. I take some grease and I lube the spring. And I'm putting grease all in this spring. I want it to be fully lubed with grease. And I take it and I just set it in there. All with all that grease in it. Take off the excess off my fingers. And I take the and lube the bearings too. And I set those back in the blade. Like so. It helps hold the bearings in there too, so when I put the knife back together, it makes it easier to put it back together. And that's basically all you have to do. Oh, here's the plunger. That's the plunger. It's a little metal piece. Rub some grease around the outside of the plunger. Doesn't take a whole lot. I take a rag and wipe off the excess. Excess off my fingers too. This side right here is the side that the springs fits inside. I'm even gonna put a little grease inside of it. Then take the knife. There we go. Get that side. You want the C to be pointing back towards the tail end of the blade. And you want your C to be just perfectly where it's supposed to be. And the plunger. Lined up. So how's everybody doing out there? Everybody doing okay? Make sure my plunger works. Oh yeah. Working good. Okay. Now we'll put the blade in. Right up there. Uh-oh, don't drop it on the floor. All right. Oh yeah. Let's go ahead and tighten everything down now. Just finger tight. Don't ever go tighter than finger tight. See how my C is headed straight towards the back? That's the way you want it. When the C is like that, it fits in the slot and everything just right. And your blade will be perfectly centered. That's what I've noticed about the CIVIVI knives. Tighten up all the way, then I just back it up just a touch. Perfect. No more button lock. See, you don't hear it no more. All right. So let's go ahead and clean this one up. We'll do the next one. This one's ready for service. The other thing I like to do, I like to put a little drop of oil down in here. Just like this. And then I'll work it in so it gets right into the bearings and the pivot. And take a little bit of oil, put it on the blade. Because I like to put oil on all the steel. Oil helps preserve the steel. This type of oil, Miltic 1, it has properties in it to help it keep from getting rusted. It sort of coats the steel and gets into the steel and helps prevent it from rusting. Even though this is the stainless steel, so you don't have to worry about that, but that's why I like to use it on like all my carbon steels. It's a gun oil. Those are gun lubricants that are lithium based. Okay, this one's done. Perfect. One down. What's going on in everybody's world out there? Anything new to report? The people in Ukraine are still hanging in there. They're tough. That's one tough group of people. That is one tough group of people. Putin will never be able to take over Ukraine. Even if he destroys it and conquers it and everything else, the people will never like him. So it's a waste of time. I don't even know why would you want to, I don't know. People aren't going to like you after you come in and invade their country and stuff like that. They're not going to accept you and like you and think that, you're peachy king and all that. They'll never like you. So why even bother? why even bother to try to, you know, take them over? If it's going to be like that. I don't know. Being the supreme ruler, I guess, is the main thing to him. Turning Ukraine back into Russia. And it doesn't want to be Russia. That's why they separated from him and became their own thing in 91. 30 years ago. You can't make people love you. You can't make people like you. And if you are gonna make somebody like you, you gotta do it. You gotta do it in a way where, with kindness and the heart, and show people that you're a good person or whatever. You know what I mean? You don't do it by invading people's countries or taking whatever they own from them and expect them to love you afterwards. I don't know. I'm just rambling. Putin's an idiot, if you ask me. I mean, he was actually, you know, for a dictator, for somebody that's been in rule forever in this country, what, like 20 years or something now? I don't even know how many years. 17 years, 20 years? How long has Putin been in rule in this country? I don't even know. I know it seems like forever. He's supposed to be a president. They're supposed to have elections, aren't they? I don't get it. It's their country. And I just don't understand them. I bet you most of the Russian people don't like what's going on. I just have a funny feeling that's the way it really is. I know Putin wants us to believe one thing, but I bet you the truth is his own people don't even like what's going on. What's cool about this one, it has like little things on it and lines it up. And so you can just easily put it together like this. Screw come online. Uh-oh. Gotta get it on the spring. It was off the spring a little bit. Okay. Get these two screws in, it sort of like holds everything in place. The other thing you gotta make sure you got right is your button. And make sure the button works. See, it's working right there, so we're good to go. Okay, next up is the blade. button. Okay. Being a little tricky on me. Yeah, there, button. There we go. This one's got a little bit of grease inside the screw area. Get out. Sweet. Takes a little bit of maneuvering with these on the putting them together side. That's not really hard. Just gotta be a little patient with it. Yeah, this one really looks like a utility knife. I think this would be an excellent work knife. Excellent for work. I think it'd be excellent for a soldier's knife too, because of the colorings of it. This would be a good knife that you take with you for your food prep. Nice and solid too, solid lockup. Let me put a little bit of oil in the pivot too. Right there where the stop pin is. I like to work it in. Both of these are going to be in my drawer. Sweet. From the other side. Right there. Nice and solid. That's too tight. Still too tight. Sweet. Beautiful knives. Well, that's it. They're all tuned and lubed now. Ready to go. Ready to go. Ready for duty. Absolutely love these. Let's see how much they weigh real quick. I know we're probably gone way over time now. 3.8 ounces for the Conspirator. 3.2 ounces for the Chevy. 3.2 for the Chevy, is that right? Yep, 3.2 for the Chevy. Chevy's light. The Conspirator, 3.8. All right, people. And these are 3.5 inch blades. The total length of them is just under 8 inches for this one. And this one is 8 inches. Let's see how sharp they are. The Chevy. Sharp. I knew it was going to be sharp. Perfect. The Conspirator. Oh, this one feels sharper. This is the Nitro-V. It's the first time I ever cut anything with Nitro-V. That's sharp. This is sharper. Look how clean it cuts. Trying to feather stick with paper. This is sharp. The Nitro-V is sharp, people. The Nitro-V is super sharp. The 14C28N is sharp also. Hey, I got it right. 14C28N. 14C, I'm going to say it again so I remember. 14C28N. Okay. That'll work. This one's sharp too, though. But this one's sharper. Or the sharpest. But anyway, there they are there. My two new additions to my drawer, to my rotation drawer. These are going to be awesome work knives. I got these to be carried to work, and I can tell you how they are as work knives. This one feels heavier too. The Conspirator feels heavier. I wonder what's heavier. Oh, the scales are thicker. I can tell by looking at the scales are thicker. This Conspirator has thicker micarta scales. That would be my guess. I think it's the scales. Trying to look and see if anything else is. Oh, this Conspirator, the handle is a little bit bigger. So the Conspirator's, it's got a little bit more size to it too. As far as the handle is concerned, the blades are the same length, but the handles are, the Conspirator handle, this handle is a little bit longer. Let me see how this one feels in my hand now, knowing that. Oh, I like the Conspirator handle better. Because my hand slides off the end of this one a little bit. If I'm using the finger groove. Well, actually, it's not. It's like, okay, that's cool. That's a cool grip. Nice full four-finger grip. Feels like I'm right on the end of the knife, though. This grip feels like I'm holding on to the whole knife handle. This one, but you know what? This finger groove is bigger though, so this one feels like it'd be a safe, even safer knife. Oh yeah, because it doesn't even. It's sort of like the Hogues. This is how my Hogues are. Because they have such a big finger groove. When your finger fits all the way down in that groove, and they have the flipper, the knife really basically can't fold in on your hand because you have to crush your bone, and your finger bone, in order to be able to get to where it can cut you. So this one feels like it's even safer than the Conspirator or the Cogent, because it's got a nice big finger groove. So that makes me like this one too, though. But the handle is a little bit shorter. The handle is a little bit shorter, but I do like this big finger groove. If my hand was a little bit smaller, this would be a perfect fit. I would feel like this would be the safest handle. This one, this handle too, also with a little bit more grippy micarta. Oh, this handle would be hard to pull out your hand. If you're in a combat situation, somebody grabbed the blade and tried to take the knife from you out of your hand. This one, you're not going to do it. This one, maybe on this one, because there's no big finger groove. There's nothing really to hold on to your hand. It's sort of like the it's sort of like the Malibu's handle. See how the Malibu's handle is? This one's even got a little bit of finger groove there, but because this is aluminum and it's got really a finish on it that's like easy to, it's real slippery. That's one of the big reasons why I don't really care for this one too. I love the Malibus. I like the way they're made. They were just like really nice. I wish the plungers were covered more of the blade tank though. That's one thing that lacks on them, besides the handle being slippery. But this one, This one is basically made like a Malibu, more like a Malibu handle, even with less finger groove. But because of the size of it, it's got more girth and it's got more length, and so you got more to hold on to. This feels like a great utility knife. But I don't know if it'd be a great combat knife, because I think somebody could pull this out your hand from the blade. And yes, people will grab your knife and try to pull out your hand. My cousin Donald, he got in a fight. His nickname is Bullet, and he got in a fight, and my cousin's in Los Angeles. He got in a fight with this one guy, and the guy pulled a knife on him, and my cousin Donald grabbed the knife by the blade and pulled it out the guy's hand and beat him up. So that's the reason why I referred to about somebody pulling the knife out your hand. Sure, Donald got his hand cut, but he also took the knife away from dude. So, don't think somebody won't grab your blade. And people in dire situations do dire things that they never thought they would do. And so, like in that kind of a situation, you don't know what the other person's going to do. You sort of got to be prepared for everything. You know what I mean? So, I think for a knife that I would use for a self-defense folder, I'd want more handle. I want a better handle. This one has a nice handle. The girth on it is slimmer. I can see why it weighs less, because the handle itself is slimmer. This one's wider, and it's also thicker. This one's narrower and slimmer. Even the blade is slimmer, has a slimmer profile, as opposed to the Conspirator. So I can see why this one weighs less. But you know what? I sort of like the grip on this one. If as far as for a self-defense folder, I like this one better, because I don't think nobody could pull this out of my hand if I have a good grip on it. And reverse grip feels really good. So this one could really fly under the radar, because it doesn't look like a self-defense folder. But I think it could be a good self-defense folder because of the way the handle's made. The handle gives you grip in the right spots. And like, this feels really good for the reverse grip. It feels nice and comfortable. Even though you're not going to really be stabbing anything with this because of the blade type. I guess you could a little bit. But it'd be an awesome slasher. Bam. I don't know, I like it. I'm trying to decide which one I like the best. I think I sort of like this one because I just like the way it feels in my hand. This is not, like I said, it's not, to me, it could be a self-defense folder, but I wouldn't pick this one to be a self-defense folder. But to me, this is like a really cool work knife. And I think this one's might even be a cooler work knife, because I think it would fly under the radar even more than this one would. This one does have a blade, even though it's a utility style blade, it's still a sort of a spear-shaped blade. This one is sheep's foot. I don't know, when I look at sheep's foots, I don't think of anything that was bought to be like a offensive or defensive or any kind of combative type folder. I just see a utility knife. So I don't know, I think this might be an awesome work knife for people looking for work knives. But the Nitro-V, this really had a nice edge on it from the get-go. This one has a nice edge too, but this one has a better edge, the Nitro-V. So I don't know. Get both and you decide. All right, people. Peace out. That's it. Peace.